We once believed that war between civilizations would be a terrifying clash of technology, strategy, and weapons of mass destruction. But the reality? It was a war of flavor. Not battleships, not energy weapons. The force that reshaped the galaxy was a single, perfectly crispy piece of fried chicken. Humanity did not conquer the stars with brute strength, but with deep fryers and fiery sauces. They introduced fast food so irresistibly delicious that it transcended biological and cultural boundaries, turning beings who had never even conceived of good food into hopeless addicts. But when an entire civilization eats without restraint, chaos is inevitable. Alien empires plunge into intergalactic wars, fighting to control the human fast food supply. Great battles were no longer fought over resources, but over KFC's secret recipe. Peace treaties crumbled over a burger, so spicy it could set souls on fire. And humans, once mere merchants, suddenly became masters of warfare, not with guns and bombs, but with spices. This war had no heroes or villains, only the starving, and the food that drove an entire galaxy to madness. When humanity first ventured into space, they didn't just bring technology, culture, and the ambition to conquer the stars. They also carried a secret weapon, one that no species in the galaxy could resist. Fast food. At first, fast food chains like McDonald's, KFC, Burger King, and countless others served only humans within their colonies. But their presence inevitably caught the attention of alien civilizations. It didn't take long before the entire galactic order collapsed under the reign of human fast food. The Dractho were a race of massive reptilian warriors from the planet Slaris, where only the strongest survived. To them, life revolved around war, honor, and raw strength. They consumed only raw meat, usually from prey they had slain themselves. But everything changed the day they discovered the cheeseburger. A Dractho warrior happened to take a bite of one at Nexus 9, a bustling space station. Just one taste, and he experienced an ecstasy unlike anything before. The cold-blooded predator, hardened by centuries of battle, let out an earth-shaking roar, not of rage, but of desperate hunger for more. The soft, pillowy buns, the searing heat of the grilled beef, the melted cheese, and the rich, creamy sauce shattered his primal instincts. Soon, the entire Dractho warrior cast abandoned raw meat altogether, instead hunting for cheeseburgers. But there was a problem. Humanity could not produce enough burgers to satisfy the cravings of an entire species of towering war beasts. And so, a crisis unlike any before erupted. Low-ranking Dractho warriors rebelled against their leaders, waging brutal conflicts over burger supply lines. High-ranking warlords negotiated with humanity, offering battle cruisers and heavy weaponry in exchange for a steady flow of fast food. Some Dractyl even abandoned their warrior traditions, choosing instead to become burger chefs, desperately trying to recreate the legendary flavors they had come to crave. From a once proud warrior civilization, the Dractyl had become a people utterly dependent on human fast food. The Zyrex, an advanced species resembling bioluminescent jellyfish, had sustained themselves exclusively on liquid nutrition for millions of years. They believed that only pure liquids could provide optimal sustenance, free from the flaws of solid matter. And then, one fateful moment changed everything. At an intergalactic summit, a Zyrex scientist driven by curiosity took a single bite of KFC fried chicken. He had no idea that this single act would change the destiny of his entire civilization. The golden, crispy skin, the glistening, juicy meat, the explosion of spices and grease. It was a sensory overload unlike anything his nervous system had ever processed. He trembled, let out an otherworldly scream, then immediately demanded more. Addiction spread like wildfire. The Zyrex abandoned liquid nutrition, with their scientists burning every research document on the subject. Millions of Zyrex flocked to human colonies, desperate to live near the sacred chains of KFC. A black market for fried chicken emerged as human smugglers trafficked KFC into Zyrex space at astronomical prices. In the end, the Zyrex High Council banned KFC, fearing that their civilization was on the brink of collapse due to uncontrollable obesity. But it was too late. The Zyrex could no longer live without fried chicken. The Vornix, one of the most technologically advanced species in the galaxy, possessed bioelectric brains powered by refined energy. They once looked down on humanity until the day they discovered Coca-Cola. To humans, Coke was just a carbonated soft drink. To the Vornix, however, its sugar and caffeine acted as a hyper-advanced neural stimulant, boosting their cognitive function to an entirely new level. Within mere months, the entire Vornix economy collapsed as all of their citizens became hopelessly addicted to Coca-Cola. Vornix scientists abandoned weapons research to instead develop Vornix Cola, an enhanced version of Coke. Their government converted entire industrial planets into soda production facilities. Cargo ships carrying Coca-Cola became the most heavily protected convoys in the galaxy, escorted by entire war fleets, because nothing was more valuable than that sweet, bubbly nectar. But amidst all of these culinary revolutions, there was one mystery no alien species could comprehend. Why did humans enjoy eating spicy food? Capsaicin, the compound responsible for spiciness, was a lethal neurotoxin to most alien races. A Drakthal warrior took a bite of a spicy chicken wing and nearly died from heat shock. A Zyrex scientist tasted a drop of hot sauce and instantly evaporated. The Vornix Empire studied Carolina Reapers and classified them as weapons of mass destruction. And yet, humans continued to eat spicy food. They winced, sweat poured from their faces, tears streamed down their cheeks, and yet they took another bite. No one could understand it, but that didn't stop aliens from wanting to try. And that was how the largest war in galactic history began. A war not for territory, not for resources, but for a single fiery piece of fried chicken capable of setting the universe ablaze. Chaos erupted the moment McSpicy Inferno Burger appeared on the menu at McDonald's across human space colonies. Humanity, already accustomed to spicy food, saw it as a fun challenge. But for alien species, this wasn't just a meal, it was a biological weapon disguised as food. The Veltari, a species of soft-bodied beings that lived in lush rainforests with mild climates, were known for their paper-thin skin and extremely delicate digestive systems. In their millions of years of evolution, they had never encountered anything remotely close to strong spices. When a Veltari diplomat took his first bite of the McSpicy Inferno Burger, it only took a single nibble for his nervous system to activate a self-destruct sequence. His entire body glowed for a few seconds before bursting into flames and disintegrating into ash right there in the restaurant. At first, authorities suspected an assassination, but after an extensive investigation, biologists concluded that the real culprit was capsaicin in the burger. Within a week, hundreds of Veltari had succumbed to the same fate, their curiosity leading them to an excruciating, fiery demise. By the time their government realized the danger, 40% of their population had literally evaporated. Once a mighty empire, the Veltari civilization plunged into chaos. To mitigate the crisis, McDonald's was forced to offer lifetime supplies of free Big Macs to the surviving Veltari. Some human activists decried the event as gustatory genocide, but the most alarming thing wasn't the tragedy itself, it was the fact that other species saw it as a challenge. After witnessing the sheer devastation caused by spice, one would think that alien civilizations would steer clear of it. But no. Pride and the allure of conquest turned the McSpicy Inferno burger into a symbol of courage. Within 2 months, the Galactic Spicy Challenge was born a grand competition where warriors from across the cosmos came to test themselves against humanity's spiciest creations. The victor wouldn't just earn the title of the Indomitable, they would also become a legend of galactic bravery. The first event was hosted at Omega 7 Station, drawing an audience of 1.2 billion viewers from across the star systems. The fiercest warriors of the Drakthul Empire, the ruthless assassins of the Vornix Council, and even the high nobles of Xyrix all participated. The rules were simple. Whoever could eat the most spicy burgers without collapsing would win. There was just one problem. Not everyone could handle the challenge. The Drakthul, with stomachs tough enough to digest raw metal, managed to endure up to 10 burgers before groaning in agony. The Xyrix, unaccustomed to solid food, barely lasted one bite before their bodies shut down. The Vornix, they physically couldn't consume the food, and all their entire digestive system was liquid-based. The real issue was that losing the challenge didn't just mean surrendering, it often meant spontaneous combustion. Some species' biology reacted so violently to the heat that they burst into flames right in the middle of the event. Others suffered extreme neural overload, flailing uncontrollably before their hearts gave out. The Xyrix, due to their bizarre genetic makeup, underwent rapid mutations on the spot, developing an entirely new sweat gland just to cope with spice. After the first tournament, over 500 warriors perished in the name of this absurd competition. But instead of fearing it, the galaxy embraced it as an honor. Entire civilizations started sending their finest champions, all eager to outlast humanity's spice tolerance. While alien species struggled with the pain, humans seemed disturbingly immune. Not only did they consume spicy food for fun, they also laughed at the suffering of others attempting to do the same. This led to a controversial new theory. Humanity was the most pain-tolerant species in the galaxy. Alien researchers desperately tried to decode the spice resistance gene in humans, but no concrete biological explanation was found. Some speculated that humans had evolved to find pleasure in pain, effectively weaponizing their own suffering for enjoyment. Others labeled it as a form of voluntary torture, a bizarre and unfathomable behavior. Regardless of the theories, one thing was certain. McSpicy Inferno Burger had transcended the realm of ordinary cuisine. It had become a cultural icon, a living legend, and as humanity continued to introduce new dishes to the stars, who knew what other chaos awaited? It all started with a single piece of fried chicken, golden, crispy, coated in a mysterious blend of spices that would captivate the entire galaxy. No one could have predicted that humanity's most dangerous weapon wasn't nuclear bombs, wasn't massive battle fleets, but rather fast food. When alien diplomats first tasted KFC fried chicken, McDonald's burgers, and Domino's pizza, they could never go back to their normal lives. The taste of human fast food broke their will, obliterating traditional cuisines that had stood for millennia. Civilizations began to lose their minds over this addiction. Great empires fell. Powerful alliances crumbled, all because of one simple truth. Whoever controls fast food controls the galaxy. The Drakthul were a warrior race whose civilization was built upon absolute strength. Their entire empire revolved around a system of combat honor, where one's social status was determined by their battle prowess. They once considered humanity weak, insignificant, unworthy of their attention. Then they tasted the Big Mac, the rich meat, the mysterious sauce, the perfect balance of ingredients. It wasn't just food, it was a spiritual awakening. Drakthol warriors began refusing to fight, realizing that no honor was greater than the experience of biting into a burger. When McDonald's refused to open a branch on the Drakthol homeworld due to food safety concerns, war broke out. Millions of Drakthol warships tore through space, heading straight for the solar system with a single ultimatum: give us Big Macs or face annihilation. Earth refused. McDonald's could not allow its brand to be taken by force. And so, the Big Mac War began, as humanity and the Drakthol clashed in an all-out war. Another threat was rising. The Zyrex, a species of hyper-intelligent beings, were cursed with an inability to cook. Their entire civilization relied on bland, synthetic food with no taste whatsoever. To them, eating was nothing more than a survival function, devoid of pleasure. Then they discovered KFC fried chicken. One bite was all it took for a Zyrex prince to weep. For centuries, they had searched for the meaning of life, only to realize that meaning lay within a single, perfectly crispy bite of fried chicken. But they didn't just want to eat fried chicken, they wanted to control it. They hijacked hundreds of merchant ships, hunted down every recipe they could find, even kidnapped KFC chefs in an attempt to replicate the flavor. But no one could recreate the original formula. A decision was made. They had to seize Earth at any cost. The Zyrex Empire mobilized 60% of its space fleet, launching the largest invasion in galactic history. Thousands of systems burned. Cities fell into chaos, all in pursuit of the secret recipe. But humanity was ready. Unlike the Drakthol and the Zyrex, the Vornix species had no interest in food. They had no stomachs, only consumed liquid nutrients to sustain themselves. To them, human fast food was meaningless except for one thing: soda. The first sip of Coca-Cola changed everything. The refreshing burst, the delicate sweetness, the rush of carbonation, it was absurdly perfect. Immediately, the Vornix Trade Syndicate was formed with a single mission: monopolize soft drink distribution across the galaxy. Using ruthless market manipulation, they bought out the entire supply of Coca-Cola, Pepsi, Sprite, even Dr. Pepper. Anyone who wanted a can of soda had to pay an outrageous price. As alien civilizations became addicted to caffeine and sugar, the Vornix became the most powerful commercial empire in the galaxy. They didn't need weapons. They didn't need war. When the Zyrex army conquered a KFC facility, they realized they couldn't eat fried chicken without soda. When Drakthol warriors tried to open their own McDonald's, they realized without Coca-Cola, a Big Mac was no longer a Big Mac. The Vornix held all the power. With wars erupting across the stars, Earth quickly realized that fast food was no longer just an industry, it was a strategic asset. If alien empires gained control over humanity's fast food, it would mean total dependence. To protect Earth's culinary heritage and maintain control over the galaxy, a new organization was founded. Backed by the biggest fast food corporations on Earth, this military force comprised special forces, space fleets, and the greatest chefs humanity had ever known. McDonald's provided the armed forces. KFC trained covert operatives. Pizza Hut handled logistics. Coca-Cola funded the entire operation. And at the helm, Ronald McDonald, a mysterious warrior bearing the title Grand General of Flavor, who swore to defend humanity's fast food empire at all costs. The war had officially begun. The Intergalactic Fast Food Legion was not just a military force. They were the bearers of human culinary civilization, transforming blood-soaked battlefields into grand feasts, where the losers did not face annihilation, but instead suffered the endless temptation of flavor. But to achieve this, they needed warriors unlike any other fighters who wielded not guns, but knives, pans, spices, and secret recipes. Cooking in space was not just an art, it was a military science. Without gravity, oil could float and coat every surface. Fire did not burn the same way as on Earth, and most importantly, aromas could travel faster than any radio signal. The space chefs were trained not only to cook under extreme conditions, but also to adjust flavors to suit alien palates. Some species perceived sweetness the way humans perceive spiciness, while others could only absorb liquid-based nutrients. Among them stood Chef Boris Flamehand Petrov, a legend known as the grill master of the galaxy. During the Battle of Orion 7, when humanity's forces were besieged by the HFY car, a race of giant insects that fed on biological energy, Boris executed an unprecedented strategy. He activated the station's ventilation system, spreading the rich aroma of Wagyu beef grilled over charcoal across the battlefield. The XY car, overwhelmed by the irresistible scent, lost control and began attacking each other, believing they were fighting over a royal feast. Humanity's forces simply stood back and watched as an entire enemy fleet self-destructed, all because of a perfectly cooked steak. For his service, Boris was awarded the Golden Spatula, the highest honor in culinary warfare. But the Fast Food Legion wasn't just about chefs. It had a hidden division. The food scientists, masterminds behind recipes capable of toppling entire empires. Dr. Eleanor Vasquez, the leading expert in intergalactic taste psychology, developed a formula known as neural flavor bomb, a burger engineered to hijack the brain, making any species believe it was the greatest meal they had ever eaten. The formula was tested on the Vortari, a cold-blooded species from the frozen world of Glythos 9, who had always considered human food to be inedible garbage. But after a single bite, their entire civilization surrendered unconditionally, accepting every trade agreement just for the chance to secure exclusive import rights to the burger. If the space chefs were artists and the food scientists were strategists, then the spicy masters were living legends, humans who could endure spiciness beyond biological limits, turning eating into a ritual of war. They did not consume spice for pleasure. They did so because it was a form of battle, a way to break the will of their enemies. Their legend began with James Inferno Castillo, who won 50 intergalactic spice-eating championships in a row, including the infamous Capsaicin God Mode Challenge, where contestants consumed a pepper so potent that its capsaicin levels could melt metal. But James's true fame came from the Battle of Xyrix Prime, where he faced off against Supreme Warlord Xyrix, an alien warrior renowned for his unmatched strength. The duel was not fought with weapons, it was fought through a spicy food challenge. If James won, humanity would gain exclusive fast food trade, rights across the Xyrix territories. If he lost, Earth would face permanent embargo. The challenge: to eat an entire plate of McSpicy Inferno wings, made with Satari Hellfire peppers, whose spice level exceeded the tolerance of 99% of known life forms. Xyrix only managed 3 bites before collapsing, his body smoking as he was rushed for medical treatment. James finished the entire plate, licked the sauce clean, and then casually sipped a Coca-Cola, completely unfazed. This victory did not just cement humanity's domination of the galactic food industry, it made James an immortal icon, revered as a war god of human civilization. Through the Fast Food Legion, humanity expanded across the stars without firing a single shot. They did not conquer with force, but with menus no species could resist. They did not impose power, but made alien civilizations willingly kneel for a combo meal. And by the time the galaxy realized that humanity could not be defeated by weapons, but only by their own food, it was too late. Humanity had won. With flavor, the Dracthol Empire, one of the most powerful civilizations in the galaxy, had initiated a total blockade on all fast food supply routes. No burgers, no fried chicken, nothing could escape their iron grip. No more fries, no more Coca-Cola, no more Big Macs. Humanity could not survive like this. The galaxy could not survive like this. As soon as the blockade took effect, chaos erupted across the galaxy. On Xyrix 4, a planet where alien warriors had once slaughtered each other just to gain control of the KFC fried chicken recipe, civil war broke out. Factions clashed desperately, hunting for black market food shipments. The Vornix Empire, once holding a monopoly on soft drink distribution, collapsed overnight due to the sudden absence of Coca-Cola, triggering the dry apocalypse, an event where billions became so parched they descended into madness. The Veltari Alliance, whose once mighty economy thrived on fast food chains, became so desperate they tried to synthesize artificial burgers, but none could match the genuine taste of human-made food. Hunger was not just a biological need, it was a weapon of war. And the Dractho wielded it masterfully. On Earth, leaders gathered at the Intergalactic Fast Food Council to devise a countermeasure. Military action? Impossible. The Dractho commanded one of the most formidable fleets in the universe. Negotiation? Useless. The Dractho cared nothing for wealth or trade. They sought only the eradication of humanity's fast food civilization. Only one option remained: to create the ultimate dish. A meal so perfect that even the fiercest enemies would be forced to yield. A dish that no one could resist. Thus, Project Galactic Ultimate Feast was born. To craft this legendary meal, humanity summoned its greatest cosmic chefs, food scientists, and warrior spice masters. Boris Flamehand Petrov was tasked with creating the most flawless burger patty, utilizing a grilling technique that allowed its flavor to resonate in three-dimensional space. Dr. Eleanor Vasquez developed the most addictive sauce in the universe, extracting essences from 50 alien plants capable of stimulating every known taste receptor. James Inferno Castillo handled the seasoning, engineering a spice blend that would leave anyone who took a bite utterly unable to stop. After months of research, experimentation, failures, and breakthroughs, the legendary dish was finally complete. A burger with a perfectly crispy crust, flame-grilled meat that remained succulently juicy, a sauce so rich it unfolded on the tongue like a cosmic revelation, and a cheese so divine it could make any species feel as though they had touched the fabric of the universe itself. Humanity sent a message to the Dracthol Empire. We do not need to fight. Just try this. If you still wish for war, we will accept our fate. The Dracthol, proud as they were, agreed. They dispatched their envoy to the neutral space station Celestia Prime, where the historic encounter would take place. There, Emperor Dracthol Zarya, a colossal being with razor-sharp fangs and glowing red eyes, took the burger in his claws. The entire galaxy held its breath. He took a bite, and in that moment, everything changed. The Emperor's crimson eyes widened, glimmering with an emotion never before recorded in Dracthol history. Pure joy. His massive form trembled, as if every sensory receptor in his body had ignited at once. The universe fell silent. No one dared to breathe. Then, the Emperor knelt. His voice, transmitted through millions of galactic channels, resonated across the stars. We surrender. Following this event, the Dracthol Empire lifted the blockade, signed a peace treaty, and even welcomed the opening of the first galactic McDonald's on their homeworld. The Galactic Ultimate Feast became a legend. No more wars. No more conflicts. Only former enemies sitting side by side, sharing in the greatest meal the galaxy had ever known. And humanity, once again, proved that they did not need nuclear weapons to conquer the universe. They only needed the perfect burger. The great fast food war had finally ended. Galaxies once embroiled in strife now gleamed with the neon glow of thousands of fast food chains. Humanity's cuisine did not merely survive, it dominated. The Drakthol, once fearsome reptilian warriors, became master grillers. The Xyrix Empire, former enemies, now ruled the interstellar delivery industry. Even the Vornix, the massive insectoid race that once despised humanity, now bowed before the power of flavor. But humanity was not done. As their fast food empire spread across the galaxy, a new question emerged. Where had no one yet tasted the food of mankind? The answer lay in the distant void among civilizations that had yet to experience the rich, greasy perfection of a burger or the exquisite crunch of perfectly fried chicken. And so, humanity's journey did not end here. It was not a conquest through war. It was not a rule through force. It was a conquest through flavor. The galaxy was only the beginning. The universe still held many who remained hungry,